everybody. Welcome to the Stop, Drop, and Knit podcast, episode 68. My name is Lisa, and I am coming to you from Long Island, New York, where it is bitter cold outside today. Oh my goodness, it is so windy too. We have this screen door that doesn't fully close, and so the wind keeps blowing it open and then slamming it shut super fast. And so every once in a while I'll hear a noise that just makes me jump. So if that happens and you see me jump, it's probably just the door slamming shut. But yeah, I think it's gonna get down to something like 3 degrees tonight Fahrenheit, so super cold. So I have a bit of a different episode for you all today. We are going to start out just reviewing like the typical things. I have a finished object. Well, we'll start with what I'm wearing, and then I've got one finished object, and I have a WIP update on my test knit sweater to share with you, and I have a tiny bit of spinning too. I expect those segments though to go by super quickly, and it is the start of a new month. We are at the beginning of February now. Today is Friday, February 3rd. Yesterday the groundhog saw his shadow, so yay, we'll be getting another 6 weeks of winter, and I don't mind that at all because it just means longer to be in sweaters and all of the great things that come along with the knitting hobby, right? So yeah, and we really haven't had that much snow here. We had some flurries 2 days ago and absolutely nothing stuck to the ground. So it's been a pretty mild winter here so far. So it's gonna get really cold tonight, and then tomorrow it's gonna be back up to like the 40s or 50s. It doesn't make any sense. Anyway, what I decided to share with you all today is going to be my plans for working through my WIPs during the month of February. So I think that there's a hashtag that goes around Instagram, Finish It February, something like that. So we're gonna just call this segment Finish It February, and I have plans to get a bunch of my WIPs off the needles over these next few weeks. So I'm going to walk you all through what those plans are, and that will be today's episode. All right, so let's go right into what am I wearing today. So as I said already, it is frigid cold outside today, which has given me the opportunity to pull out one of my worsted weight sweaters. I don't have too many worsted weight sweaters. Mostly my sweaters are fingering weight or sport / DK, but I think mostly fingering for the majority of my sweaters. So I think my only other worsted weight sweater is my worsted boxy. And I actually tend not to wear that when it's super cold, even though that one is a worsted weight sweater, because of its loose boxy fit and shorter sleeves. It just, the drape on that, so much air can come in. It doesn't hug your body tight like this one does. So this is really one of my warmest sweaters. And because of that, I don't wear it as often as some of my other sweaters. But today is the perfect day. So this is called, what is this sweater called? I need to see what this one's called. Hang on. The things that, you should really look up before you podcast. I know it's by Tanis Gray. I know that much. Yeah, let's see what this one is. Can't believe I forgot the name of it. Oh, yeah, that's why. Okay. Anthophila. Anthophila? Anthophila. What is Anthophila? Is it like the study of bees? Let's look it up. I should know this. Let's do a quick Google search. Anthophila. The love of flowers. Oh, okay. That's not what I was expecting. Huh. No, wait a second. Anthophila, the love of flowers. Anthophila. Anthophila. Yeah. A love of flowers, or somebody who appreciates flowers. Okay. I could have sworn it was going to have something to do with bees, but bees love flowers, so I mean the name makes total sense, right? So yes, this is a test knit that I did, and it was for Tanis Gray, so I'm going to come a little bit closer. It's so cute. As soon as I saw the test knit call for this bee design, I just had to knit it. It was just one of those things. I think I knit this 3 or 4 years ago, and so I will show you. There's some short row shaping in the back, and yeah, so there's also this cute little detail at the hem, just a little bit. Let's see if I can scrunch it up here. I'll pull it up for you guys to see. Just a little detail at the hem there. And that same detail is at the cuffs. I feel like this video is a little bit of a mess already, but we're just gonna go with it because, as always, I wait until like the last hour before I have to get Owen from the bus to record. So yeah, time is limited. Anyway, so I test knit this for Tanis Gray a few years ago. I actually did a gauge swatch for this one, which is probably why I'm super pleased with the fit. So I was able to get gauge, no problem. The yarn is the same yarn that Tanis had used for her test knit, her sample knit, and it's Dragonfly Fibers Valkyrie, which is their worsted weight superwash base. And this was Dragonfly Fibers before. There's new owners now, so the previous owners, and so I don't know if these colorways still exist in exactly their same form. I believe that when they transferred ownership, some colorways were going to remain standard, and then other things were just going to change, as they should when you've got new dyers and new people working for the company. So yeah, I super love this sweater, and I'm really glad for the chance to wear it today. It's squishy soft, it hugs my body really nicely, but without making me feel pudgy. So there's enough room in here, but not really that much positive ease. So I'm really pleased with how this sweater turns out, and glad for the chance to wear it on this very, very cold day. Okay, so we're gonna move right along into finished objects. We have a visitor. You want to say hello? Yeah? What do you think? What's the matter? You feeling lonely? So, for finished objects today, if you follow me on Instagram, you might have seen me post about these already in my stories, because I just posted them last night. I got actually a really cute picture of me and my 2 younger boys, which is my cat Samson and Owen, because I finished Owen's socks. So these are knit in Knitterly Things yarn, 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon, and I made his with the leftovers from my own socks. So his are a little different from mine, but we have matchy socks again, which I always really like. And even Julia, who is the dyer behind Knitterly Things, she said, I love when you make matching socks for Owen. It's so cute. So I posted a picture yesterday of Owen and my feet, and Sam got in the picture, and he was just looking up like, where are my socks? Where's my pair? And now as soon as I pull these out to show you guys, he just came running up like, aren't those for me? Yeah, no, I don't think you would actually like them, Sammy Sam. So yeah, so I was really, really happy to get these off the needles for him so quickly. He actually wore them to bed last night, and I thought he was going to keep them on today, but he must have changed before school. So that's okay. I was able to show them then to you guys on the podcast today. So yeah, so Ellen and I now have another pair of matching socks, and this counts as my second of 23 finished objects because my aim this year is to knit 23, or to finish knitting 23 things in the year 2023. So I finished these on February 2nd, so I'm a little bit behind, sort of, but not really. I'm actually really ahead, as you'll see in a minute. If you're just going by how many objects I finished each month, I'm aiming for 2 per month because 2 per month would be 24. Technically, I only finished 1 in January, which was my socks, but these count as number 2. And the reason that I only finished 2 pair of socks in January and nothing else is because I have still been monogamous with my knitting, as I shared with you all in last week's episode. So let's move on into WIPs, and I will show you what I have been spending all of my time knitting all of January. So if you watched last week's episode, you will know that I have been a monogamous knitter lately, which, I mean, aside from the socks, that was just like a little, needed something very easy and mindless to work on, like when I was waiting in the car for Owen, which is where a lot of his socks got knit, was in the car during his theater rehearsals, sitting in the Walgreens parking lot outside his theater. So that was the type of project I could bring with me. He also likes me to keep him company when he's playing his video games and shows me some fancy trick jumps and stuff and all of these things. And so when I am watching him play his video game, which honestly I'm not interested in very much at all, but I do like spending time with my child, so I knit on his socks at the same time. So those are the moments that I'm able to work on a project like that, because the rest of the time I need my full concentration working on this beauty. So what is this? It is almost finished, but not quite. Yeah, this is my test knit for Catherine Clark of Brooklyn General. She is at Love in the Making on Instagram. So she posts both on that account and her Brooklyn General account. And she is releasing this pattern next week on February 8th. I believe that that is a Wednesday. So my goal was to have this finished actually by today's podcast. We're very close though. It will be finished this evening. I just had to stop knitting on it this morning so that I could record this podcast before Owen came home from school. So last time I showed this to you, I had the whole body done, but no sleeves yet. And now I have done the entire first sleeve, and I am halfway through sleeve number 2. So all that I have left to do on sleeve 2 is basically a complete chart, which is 40 rows, but I'm going from the center of that chart through finishing the chart and then again to the center. So halfway through the chart to the next halfway point. So that's about 40 rows more of knitting that I have to do of the pattern. And then I have to do the cuff, which is about 2 inches of cuff. And then I just have to block it. So she's releasing this on Wednesday. So my goal is to finish the sleeve tonight and get it blocked tonight, so that, because today's Friday, so that over the weekend it can dry. And then either Monday or Tuesday, we're gonna see which day like the weather is better. I'm gonna drive out to Huntington. My husband works also very close to Huntington, so we're gonna kind of coordinate for him to come help me take some photos in front of that sunshine mural that I showed you guys last week, so that I've got some photos ready for when Catherine releases her pattern next Wednesday. So you guys, the finish line is so close. That was the cat. Hi. Okay, you done? You done being noisy? Yeah? Yeah, we're in a very small apartment, so like the litter box is right there. So he just did his thing. So, all right, anyway. So I've got this whole entire sweater, just half a sleeve to go. And so I managed a sleeve and a half in a week of full on color work. So I'm actually pretty pleased with my progress. I was hoping to have both sleeves done by February 1st, because that technically was the deadline, which was 2 days ago. But I do have like this week of wiggle room. I will be able to finish it tonight, so I'll still be able to get Catherine the information of like how much yarn I had left over, how much yarn I actually used, everything like that. So I think, you know, that still gives her a 5-day window before she's releasing the pattern to get that information, and I think it's totally fine. So yeah, I am basically going to meet my deadline-ish. And as you can see, I mean, I'm about to have 3 finished objects of my 23 for 2023. So only had 1 for January, but within the first few days of February, I am about to have 2 more. So we are right on track. Okay, so that actually is everything that I have been knitting on this week. We're gonna go into spinning, because I do have a spinning update, which I was hoping to have a little bit further than where it is, but I'm gonna show it to you anyway, because it's actually a pretty exciting update. This isn't exactly part of my Knit 23 in 2023 goals, but I also have like a low-key goal of finishing up some of my spinning projects so that I can like clear my spindles and make way for new yarn to be spun. And so last January 2022, I began spinning the Glitz and Glam Paradise Fibers bag, which was their January 2022 Fiber Club. Sounds so weird to say that 2022 was last year. Still getting used to that. And so I'll show you first my singles. So these are my singles, and these are now ready to be plied. This is actually the last of my singles. And what I did was I spun it thick and thin as they recommended. So, you know, I just kind of let whatever happen happen. I didn't try to control it too much. And I have finished now all of the white and gray, I think it was called Humbug Merino. So I mean, I can kind of show it to you. You can kind of see I've got like a really unspun section right there. So that's kind of sort of what it looked like. And then what I wanted to do was see what it was going to look like when I plied it together. And I actually had quite a bit of fun plying this. It's not set yet. I was hoping to finish plying the rest of it so that I could show you guys the finished yarn today, because it's really difficult to see when I have it just off of the spindle like this, but this is it plied together. And I decided to try to make it a little bit more towards an art yarn and have a little bit more fun with my plying. Not that great at it yet, but yeah, I can't even, I don't think that this is even that great an example of how to show you guys. Try to get kind of off the screen. You know what might work better? Maybe what would work better is holding it, like standing up and just coming closer so that maybe it'll focus against my sweater. Maybe not. Nope, that's not gonna work. There we go. So that's not a great example. I have like a couple of really cool like coil sections in here, but I think they're kind of buried in the middle of this ball of yarn. I've got like, that looks terrible there. That's okay. But oh, you can't see it at all. This is so hard to show. But basically, I can't wait until I finish this yarn and can show it to you, not in a cake like this, but after it's been washed and dried and thwacked and all of those things, so that I can just open it up and show it to you guys. So I had a lot of fun plying this, and I was hoping to ply the rest of it last night, get it washed and most of the way dried overnight so that I could show it to you today. I think I'm going to be able to finish plying it tonight, which means that I might be able to show it on the video before I edit. So I might be able to sneak in a picture of it, but I will definitely talk about it in next week's podcast because it definitely will be finished by then. But you guys, I have, where is it? I have so much of this Stellina Merino left. I mean, this is how much I still have left of the sparkle. So this is 70% natural white merino combined with 30% Stellina, which is why it is so sparkly. I mean, I have a ton of this left. So this will be another project for sure. Not sure what, but yeah, I need a break from working with the super sparkly because there's just other fibers. I am eager to get on my spindles and all of that. So anyway, that was a quick update of my spinning. And now let's talk about my Finish It February plans. Okay, so I have a whole bunch of my WIPs pulled out here, and I'm going to talk you through what I hope to accomplish finishing these projects up during the month of February. So we're already 3 days in, but I can get started on this either tonight or definitely tomorrow. The first thing I am going to do is pick up my size 4 needles. I have these back now. These have been hung up in my sunshine sweater, my Good Day sunshine sweater. I think I forgot to tell you guys the name of it. That's okay. I'm sure I'll have put it on the screen. That's the one that I'm test knitting with all those suns on it. And my size 4 needles have been busy in that project all month long. And I needed to snatch these needles from my twist and turn shawl. So I actually had to snatch 2 pairs of size 4 needles from this shawl. I needed my very long cable size 4 for my big cozy cardi, which I'm not going to show you today. I haven't been working on it, but that's a design by Andrea that I had started like the end of December. And I only have like maybe 1.5 inches done on it, but the way that you knit it, you need that very long cable. But now that I am at a point, at least with this step in the twist and turn shawl, that I don't need that super long cable. I can get away with a shorter cable. I am going to finish clue 2. Kind of like the first thing I'm going to do, I think, is pick this back up again because I have my needles. So I had done half of clue 2, actually about 3/4 of clue 2, because I think this whole section here and on the other side, you kind of do the same thing on both sides of the shawl. Both of those were from clue 2, but this cabled section here is also part of clue 2, and I had only completed it on one of the 2 sides of the shawl. So now that I have these needles back, I'm gonna get that section done, and then clue 2 of Twists and Turns Mystery Knitalong by Stephen West will be finished. And I'll still have a really long way to go, but at least clue 2 will be checked off of the list. So that is pretty much the only part of the Twist and Turn shawl I'm going to commit to finishing this month, because you'll see I've got other goals too. If I go further and decide to start clue 3, I think I might just do all of those little I-cord sections that get like twisted up into the little cables here. So that might happen this month, but I'm not putting pressure on myself to do that. I will just be happy to get that. So that's what it looks like on that side, but I'm missing that section on this side. So I'll be happy if I can get that part of this shawl accomplished and officially finish clue 2. The next big thing that's going to happen in February is that 2 sweaters are going to finally get sleeves and be hopefully then finished this month. So, all right, the first one, I really want to get this off. I think this technically also needs a collar. So this one needs a sleeve and a collar. I'm just untangling it from itself now. So this is my Artist's Journey sweater, which has been a really intense color work sweater project. There's also some twisted stitch detailing in the speckly parts in between each of the colorwork sections. It is so gorgeous. Yeah, it still needs a collar too. So this is a sweater design that I test knit but didn't complete for Annie Lupton, and she is Boho Chic Fiber Co. And this was on my lingering WIPs list last year, and I had finished up the rest of the body about a year ago now and added one complete sleeve, and then I lost steam. I picked up and I started knitting the second sleeve, and then I lost steam with it. So I'm not going to go into like the details of all the yarn that I'm using right now. I'm just going to tell you guys what my plans are, and then as I bring these out in the podcast in the month of February, I will then share the details again. But I do have all of these projects are linked on my Ravelry, so I think I have most of the yarn information on my Ravelry, which is LisaJack78, and also probably on Instagram at some point. I have posted these on there. So yeah, I mean, it's Wonderland yarns, yarn from before I was a brand ambassador. So this would actually be a really good sweater to finish up. It is sport weight, I believe. I believe that this is a sport weight yarn, so it's also would be a nice cozy cold weather sweater because it's sport weight and has a ton of twisted stitches and color work. So I'm sure that this is going to be really cozy if I could actually just finish it. And I feel like now that I have just knit 2 full color work sleeves in barely more than a week, no, basically in a week, because I recorded last Friday. Yeah, so I've knitted almost 2 complete colorwork sleeves in a week. I could just take 1 week and get the sleeve done and the collar done, and then I will have a finished sweater. I'm just gonna buckle down and I'm gonna do it, because if I can knit 2 colorwork sleeves in a week, almost to completion, then I can knit most of one and a collar on a sweater in a week. If I just put my mind to it and avoid cast-onitis, which is gonna be tricky to avoid cast-onitis, but I think we can do it. I think, you know, now that I'm so close to being done with my test knit, the urge to cast on like all these new things is creeping up on me, and there's so many things I want to cast on. I want to make a sweater for Owen. I want to make some mittens. So some of these things might get cast on. I've got another Wonderland yarns project, sweater project that I really want to start as well. So I think I need to have a very clear plan though if I want to get some of these other projects done. And I mean, I'll have the sunshine sweater done. If I can finish this, like this first week of February, this first full week, that'll be 2 new sweaters that I can wear. Oh, I think one of the things that was holding me back, which is why I hit a standstill with that sleeve, is I ran out of the main color yarn. And I didn't run out, like I had it with me, but it just needed to be wound up. So I did that finally. So it is wound and it is ready to go. So there's no more excuses. I just have to now pick it up. Well, I mean, the excuse was getting that test knit finished, but I am a full 2 years late on this test knit. Maybe not until April. So I need to get this done right away so that I don't hit the 2-year mark. Yeah, I don't think any of us actually finished it. I don't think there were that many of us testing it. It was a very slow test knit, but it's like the only test knit I never finished, and I feel terrible. All right, so that will give me another sweater. Then I have 2 sleeves that I am going to knit for my Feel the Bern sweater. This is the one that uses my naturally dyed yarns. And I finished the body, and the standstill that I hit with this, I mean, as Caitlin Hunter wrote the pattern, basically you pick up for the sleeves, add a cuff, and bind off. But it's a worsted weight yarn, and I was just trying to decide, was I going to wear it if it were short sleeves? Because worsted weight and color work are very warm. Or should I make long sleeves and then probably wear it more frequently? And so I finally with mostly a lot of you, almost all of you, urged me to go for the long sleeves on this. And that was where I was also leaning as well. So that's what I'm gonna do. And I have a clear idea now in my head of how I want to do the long sleeves. So I think I am going to put this colorwork pattern at the bottom hem, also at the bottom part of the sleeves right before the cuff. So I do have to do a little bit of math. So what I'm going to do is kind of figure out how many stitches I'm going to need for an equal number of repeats of this colorwork pattern. And also I'm going to measure it to know like how many inches this takes up. Probably about 2 inches, and then another like 1 to 2 inches for the cuffs. And then, so I'm gonna determine those numbers first. I'm gonna pick up for the sleeves exactly as Caitlin recommends for the Feel the Bern sweater. And then I'm gonna see what the difference is in those 2 numbers, and I'm gonna figure out then how many inches of sleeve I need to knit before I start that colorwork section, and also what the difference in numbers is, so that I can figure out how often and at what interval I'm going to make the decreases, and how frequently I need to do that to get to the number for the colorwork on the sleeves. So I have a plan. I've been avoiding it because it requires some math, and it's not hard math, but I just have been avoiding it, and the test knit was also, like, honestly a huge distraction from this. But I definitely want this sweater finished in February because it's still super cold out right now, and it would be really nice to be able to wear it this winter as opposed to having to wait through the whole entire summer and until the fall, or late fall, early winter next year. So this is a definitely finish it in February project. All I have to do is 2 sleeves. The good news is I can figure it out with sleeve number 1. I'm going to write down exactly what I did. Hopefully it'll work out so that I don't have to redo it. So we'll see. Somebody had suggested just like doing the same exact sleeves as for Caitlin Hunter's Easy V sweater, which I also recently completed. However, I think that for this sweater, I would like the sleeves to be more fitted. For the Easy V, they're really loose and they don't have like any decreases at all. You like go straight into the color work and then you do some decreasing right before you do the ribbing. So that's not the look of sleeve that I want for this sweater. I think the way that this is, it's just having like a more traditional fitted sleeve is going to be, I think, closer to what I would want this to look like as a finished garment. So that's my plan. So I've got 3 sleeves to knit in February. And if I can average 1 sleeve a week, then I think that should leave me time to finish Bryce's sock, which is similar to a sleeve because it's got big feet. So let me get his sock and show you guys that. So I totally didn't start this by your birthday, but I'm knitting this for you for your birthday present. My husband is getting a pair of socks, and I cast this on after his birthday, which was November 1st, and we still just have the foot of a sock. So this is Gauge Dye Works, and this is from their Birds collection. Checklist of Birds is the pattern that I'm knitting, and so I've done the whole foot. It's my first toe up sock, and now I'm ready to put the heel on, and then I have to do the leg. So once I get past the heel, it will be mindless knitting and can probably just happen like in the background while I'm working on these other projects. But if I can finish 3 sleeves in 3 weeks, that should leave me like almost a 1 week. I mean, February is a short month. We're already on day 3. So it leaves me about half a week wiggle room to also get this sock done. And this is just sock number 1. We're not going to go crazy and think I'm going to get his whole second sock knit up this month too. I don't think that that's going to happen realistically. So those are all of my knitting goals as far as my WIPs go. I am sure that I will be also casting on some new things, but I actually have a crochet project to show you guys. It's not far along and I do not know how to crochet, but I'm gonna get it out and we're gonna talk crochet for like 2 minutes. So if you guys remember a couple of months ago, Owen, my 8-year-old son, got interested in learning how to crochet. And so we have only done so far the chain stitch because that's all I knew how to do. And we're honestly still at the point where I am helping him tension the yarn and he just takes the hook and pulls it through. And I got him one of those, what is it called? Like, oh, I don't even think I have it over here. But I got him a really nice, maybe it's called Prim. I'll put the name of the brand in. They make knitting needles too, but they make crochet hooks. And it's got a really nice, like rubber, wide handle, not handle, I don't know what you call it, but you know, you just grab it. Something like really secure to hold on to. So I thought for Christmas, he's also been really into Pokemon lately, and I had seen this this Pokemon crochet kit. So I got Owen this kit for Christmas, and the other day he asked me to do it with him, which basically is going to turn into me crocheting this for him, and yeah, just me doing it for him. And I'm okay with that because the yarn that came with this kit is, I mean, obviously it's acrylic, but it's like really, it's fingering weight, is really thin. But that means that the hook, this is a 2.5 millimeter hook, and this, I can get a different hook, which I still might do. It's actually really awkward for me to work with because it's so thin. Now I'm used to working on really tiny needles with my knitting because I do a lot of fingering weight projects, especially socks and things, but I'm not used to all the crochet motions and all of that. So I'm finding this very thin crochet hook to be very awkward for me. So my plan with this, I have not gotten very far, but I am going to show you my progress here. What I have managed to do so far is a little magic ring and then one round of single crochet. I mean, we're starting really simple. So many years ago, when I was in my late 20s, I did successfully crochet one stuffed animal for my niece when she was born. But I've not crocheted since then, and I have forgotten everything. So I'm having to learn all the stitches. So, you know, this is one of these books. The author is Sabrina Summers. So she gives you, it says, everything you need to make Pikachu and instructions for 5 other Pokemon. So I'm making Pikachu because that's what came with the kit. And you know, it tells you all the things you need to do. So it gives you in the front of the book, it gives you the instructions on how to do the stitches with those little hand-drawn diagrams that are really tricky to follow, but I'm managing so far. So I am still going to work with Owen on his crochet, but honestly, I think that this is right now, I just kind of need to do this first. And then if he wants to make his own Pikachu, I think I'll find like a worsted weight yarn and we can use his bigger hook and we can just make a bigger one following the same steps. I think he'll be able to handle that better, because I think for an 8-year-old who's never crocheted before, this thin little crochet hook it's too much, and this thin yarn, it's just, I think he just needs some bigger things to grasp onto. So I wonder if I have it right over here. Hold on one second. Okay, I found it actually. We've just been using this like giant ball of acrylic, I think it's like from Joann's or something, to practice chain stitch. So he has done chain stitch, but I don't know, does it say the brand? It doesn't say the brand on the hook, but it's like this nice, sturdy, like rubberized, it's nice and big, like a toothbrush, you know, like it's got something to hold on to here. So I think just getting the right size hook for the project, even for me to do it, is probably going to help, because this is just so much more ergonomical. Probably it's so much more comfortable. Oh no, wait, it does have the brand. Yeah, Prim, Prym. This is a size H, which I don't know how many millimeters that is, but anyway, so this crochet project might be something else that I show you guys on the podcast this month. We'll see how that goes. Oh, but I also had gotten, for Christmas, I had gotten Owen this other, it's the same author, I think, right? Yeah, Sabrina Summers. And this is like a book that has instructions for like a whole bunch more Pokemon. So yeah, I think, and it, you know, like it has like the instructions for the stitches and all kinds of Pokemon and stuff. So I thought that that would be a fun thing. As he gets more comfortable with his crochet, maybe he'll eventually be able to make some of these himself. But in the meantime, I can learn a little bit how to crochet and help him learn as well. So that's the plan with the crochet. And then there's one spinning project that has been a WIP that my cat, Samson, is sitting on my spinning bag. So I'm gonna have to sneak him off of it. Let me get the cat off of my spinning bag so that I can show you the other spinning project that I am determined to complete this month. I always feel bad moving the cat, you know? But, okay. So, got my favorite spindle, which is this one, is what I'm using for this spinning project. And this is, I just keep it all in a plastic bag. So it's got what I've already spun up in it and the fiber that I have to finish spinning. So I had received in September this beautiful fiber from Wild Wool Farm in Washington State. It's gorgeous. And I received 2 of these. You know, it's like a bat, I think. I think that's what it's called. I've never spun from a bat before. So this is what I have left to spin, is basically like, I have no idea how much this is, but it is gorgeous. It is, I believe it's a merino Corriedale mix of fiber that was blended together. It was triple carded. I think she said triple carded. So I had already done 1 singles of the purple. So basically I need to do 1 more with that remaining fiber. And I have also done all of the beautiful teal blue that she had sent me too. So these are singles. These are ready to be plied together. And I think that I'm going to ply the blue together and finish it as 1 yarn, and then ply the purple together, finish it as a separate yarn. And then my plan is to probably use them together. That was the door being blown open by the wind, if you guys heard that. It just startles me every time. So yeah, my plan is to use these in a colorwork project once I have them done. And I was spinning this very regularly during Owen's theater rehearsals, when I was able to enjoy sitting outside and travel 5 minutes down the road to this little historical site where they've got sheep and chickens and like picnic tables that I could sit and spin at. And so the weather was really beautiful. And so that was like how I spent my fall during his rehearsals. And now I sit in my car and I knit because it's way too cold outside, and at least my car has heated seats. I can get the car all nice and warm, turn it off for a while and knit for a while, and then when it starts getting too cold, I can turn the car back on for a few minutes, heat it up again, you know. So that's what I've been doing now. But with the other spinning project, I've actually found a place to sit in my apartment that's really comfortable on the edge of the bed and have a nice little area to do my spinning in. So I am determined to finally finish spinning this beautiful fiber this month. And then there's fiber that I want to start spinning too, but I really want to finish this one first. So I hope to be doing this kind of video, this kind of segment once a month. Like kind of reassessing each month. I think working a month at a time is going to be working really well for me so far this year. Like for January, I clearly had a goal of just focusing on that test knit and I had some socks that I could pick up, and I knew that I didn't have the right amount of time to be digging into any other projects. And so it feels really good to now be at the end of that first month, having just about completed the things that I was wanting to complete and setting new goals for February. And I think it sounds kind of like a lot, but I think it's also going to be completely manageable. And if I cast on some other things, I have some mittens that I really kind of need to knit myself a pair of fingerless mittens for my office because it's just so cold in there. So like little things like that, maybe starting on a sweater for Owen because I've been wanting to make him another sweater. But I think that just my main knitting is going to be focused on finishing things that I already had started. As exciting as that cast-on-itis feeling is, starting a whole bunch of new things, finishing things is also really exciting. And I can see the finish line with 2 of these sweaters, getting to another big point in the twist and turn shawl, getting 1 of Bryce's 2 socks done. Like, I can see all of those goals being easily achievable. And I think that reaching those goals are going to feel really, really great. So those are my plans for this month. I hope you all enjoyed hearing about my goals and what my plans are. As always, if you enjoyed this video and the content that I put out, I would really appreciate a thumbs up, and if you guys could hit that subscribe button, I would really appreciate that. And I hope to be recording regularly now. I think I have a bit more time, so every Friday I have a chance to record. So I'm hoping to be putting out 1 video per week for the foreseeable future. So have a great weekend, and I can't wait to share my progress on these WIPs with you all in my next podcast next Friday. Bye, everybody.